Hi everybody, welcome back to English 112. This is for our class for Tuesday, the 6th of April. And I wanted us to put some closure on A Midsummer Night's Dream, which we've been viewing thus far. I also wanted to talk about paper number 1, which I should have returned to you. I believe I've returned all of the submitted papers to me. So if you have not received paper number 1, please let me know. I also wanted to remind you that registration is now underway for both the summer and the fall semester. And of course, as you know, things are in flux in our world, but right now the plan is for GCC to offer multiple modalities or different kinds of courses for the fall semester. Some completely online, some hybrid, and some in person. So I know that that could change, but at this point, that's the plan. And for the summer session, you'll see that there are quite a few classes. In fact, most of the classes are not yet staffed. But I can tell you the classes that I will be teaching over the summer, if that's any use to you. And over summer session 1, I will be teaching English 247, which happens to be Women in Literature. And over summer session 2, I will be teaching PCS 101, and that happens to be a public speaking class. And I'll also be teaching CMN 153, and that happens to be a medium popular culture class. And all 3 of those classes will be completely online. So if you have any questions or concerns about those classes or just registration in general, just let me know. So where we are is watching the last part 3 of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And you can see in the notes below that what I have is what we will be watching during that last and third part, where we know that as a comedy we have to have a happy ending, so there's going to need to be some resolution. And that means the love juice is removed from Lysander so that he can go back to loving Hermia. However, the love juice remains on Demetrius so that he remains loving Helena. And that's one of the things we'll talk about next class, just how happy of an ending is that if he's being manipulated by love juice. But remember, prior to the play, he had pledged himself to Helena. The love juice is removed from Titania, so she's no longer in love with Bottom the ass. And she has to come to the realization that I loved an ass. In other words, love is blind. The donkey spell is removed from Bottom, so even though Bottom might continue to act like an ass, he no longer is literally an ass. He's returned to human form. King Theseus, at this particular point, which gets us back to the beginning of the play, he declares that since the human couples are happy, he's not going to intervene. So that'll be our happy ending, and basically Hermia's father Aegeus is the only one who is going to be upset by this declaration, but it's probably the best that we're going to get out of all of the other possibilities. And then we have Act 5, which seems to be superfluous, which happens to be a play within a play. This is Bottom and his cohorts putting on a play within a play, which is very common for Shakespeare. The play they're performing is called Pyramus and Thisbe, and it happens to be about romance gone bad. In fact, it has many parallels to Romeo and Juliet, and could be very similar to what could have happened in A Midsummer Night's Dream if we weren't watching a comedy. Nothing that Shakespeare does is superfluous, so there are lots of reasons for the play within a play. Not only does Pyramus and Thisbe comment on the idea of love relationships, but we see how ridiculous this play within a play is, in that there's poor writing and there's poor acting, and this is viewed as a commentary on Shakespeare's competition, that basically he's trying to mimic the poor acting and the poor writing that his competition would exhibit to try to encourage us to continue to see more of Shakespeare's plays and avoid the competition, because Shakespeare was always first and foremost a business person. There's also a good amount of humor, good amount of bawdiness, good amount of sexual references, and all of those we'll be talking about over the next class or two. And as all of the characters in A Midsummer Night's Dream are watching Pyramus and Thisbe and laughing, they never once stopped to reflect that they had been equally absurd when it came to love. So that's also a commentary that they didn't have enough self-awareness to understand that love reduced them to idiocy. And if we can take that a step further, it's a commentary for us watching A Midsummer Night's Dream, that if we don't stop and examine our own actions and whether or not we might one day have fallen in love with an ass and not realized it, then we too lack self-awareness. And then finally, we end with Puck's final speech. It's one of the most famous speeches in Shakespeare, where Puck is offering an apology to the audience. And it also is a way for Puck to kind of act like a surrogate Shakespeare. So next class, as I indicated, we're going to talk about A Midsummer Night's Dream. So today you would watch part 3 of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and the attendance question, which would be due on Wednesday the 7th at 10 a.m. Did you like or dislike this particular production? The Shakespeare's Globe Performance 2014 John Light is what we've been watching of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and why or why not? So I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. And next class, we'll start talking about the specifics of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Take care. Bye-bye.